Listen, I have an idea.
It's how I feel when you make lemonade. Whatever today has given you. 511 headaches, still call it Thanksgiving. True.
Welcome to another edition of the Super Duper Podcast. I'm your host, Rob Briggs, here with the super producer, Ez McMahon.
Yes. What's going on, Rob? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I got a hat on today, bro. I'm trying to do like you, man. Shout
Yes,
out
I
to Williams
see. I see you
College.
there, man.
You know,
I see
I'm
you
trying
there.
something different. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But thank you for checking out the Super Duper Pod. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and all socials. What up, Sarah at Super Duper Pod, SUPADUPAPOD, and online at HP53productions.com for our merch and additional content such as the Father Good podcast and our own Ez McMahon with the Easy Smoke and GM podcast. So Ez, I know you're watching the game right now, man. You are rooting against Illinois? Is that what you were saying?
I just told you, man, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old Eds would be extremely
Just
disappointed
living,
in me right now because I have Iowa State going to the Elite Eight, and so I'm sort of actively cheering against Illinois. And I grew up a big Illinois Fighting Illini fan for basketball. So
Yeah.
but it looks like they're up 6 with 15 seconds to go in this game as we record. So it looks like Illinois may move on here. But
Jeez, man.
yeah, I'm
Look ahead, those guys ain't
disappointing my young
disappointed.
self, man.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I haven't watched one game in the tournament. I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yeah, I hope your team. I listened to a podcast about Creighton. I was like, Creighton, they still win. I just don't care, man. I'm
Creighton's pretty
serious.
good. Creighton's pretty good.
Hey, I believe you.
Here's
Hey,
the deal.
I see guys in the league.
I think I watched maybe three college basketball games before the tournament started.
Mhm.
And the first weekend I was all in because of the gambling aspect of it.
Right.
I got my bracket obviously, and then I have some app bets as well.
Yeah.
And I actually broke even last weekend. I made it back by the final game. The last what was it? The Houston game, Texas A&M game. I got back to even there, and yes, I called that a win for the weekend. But yeah, gambling, man, it just puts a different layer of
With excitement to
it. Yeah. Reason to watch. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I know this is what Christina say. We sport the child of Christina. It's like, but that Jonte Porter story. You heard about ever about Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
You heard about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just for the listeners, there's a guy in the NBA, Jonte, right? His name Jonte Porter. Yeah. He's a brother of a Michael. What's his name? Michael Porter Jr. I want to say Michael J. Porter for whatever reason. Michael Porter Jr. played for Denver Nuggets, won the championship last year. So apparently, either he bet on himself. You can correct me on particulars, but what happened is in the NBA and with the gambling sites, they're prop bets. If a guy scores over 10 points or has less than 5 rebounds, you can bet on those things. So I guess my man was telling people to bet on the under, would go in. So they say the under's 10 points, he'll score a quick 3, 4, 5, then his eye would hurt and he would leave the game. Bada bing, bada boom. I guess he figured, hey, listen, nobody knows me. This won't even pop. And guess what? They found out.
That is a no-no.
Man,
that's a no-no.
I know he thought and I guess he thought he don't nobody know who he is. You know what I'm saying? This would be nothing. But these days, like, why is this no-name player hitting so big? Because you're stupid, sir. That's why.
Come on, you got to be smarter than that, man.
Man, it just got to be. That might be the theme of the day baseball stuff we're gonna talk about. It's like, is it worth it? Like, bam.
Well, you have that one, but the big one is the Shohei Ohtani, of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Where now get this. So it came out this week that
now he's speaking no English.
Right. No, it comes out that he his interpreter had gambling debts upwards of $4.5 million, and that the interpreter stole $4.5 million from Otani to pay off these gambling debts. Come on, dog.
Come on, dog. Come on,
So,
dog.
but here's the crazy part, though, and I know it's conspiracy theory. You guys are gonna say it, and yeah, right. A guy that I know told me 5 months ago that Shohei Otani was going to get banned from baseball for
Dang.
gambling. This was 5 months ago.
Wow. And you were like, come on, man.
And I said, dude,
Sirens,
stop it.
as we say all the time, sirens. Got to pay
Stop
attention to
it.
the sirens, dog. That's
Stop
wild.
it.
5 months ago?
5 months
crazy.
ago.
That's
and
crazy.
now, I'm not gonna put nobody's names out there.
Shit.
And
No,
then
no
all of a
movie.
sudden, last week, the story comes out. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. My man said this 5 months ago. How did this happen?
It was
And I'm
wild,
surprised. I'm
dog.
surprised that no one has said anything, dating back that long ago. So I don't know. I don't know.
But I mean, that's $700 million. Like, and that don't make sense, man. People making poor decisions all the time. And I mean, it happens, but doggone it,
So I
man.
said, maybe it's a some type of conspiracy theory that has no legs to it. I don't know.
Sure. Well, I know this.
I don't have it firsthand, so I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying this is what the streets was saying.
Well, I'll say this much: the interpreter's kids gonna be just fine. Don't you worry about his family. Because homie took the L. He said that gat is mine, sir. It's not this professional baseball player. It's actually mine. Thank you.
That's
You
crazy.
Know what I'm saying? That's wild, man. But so as this weekend, we're gonna keep it a buck with y'all. We're gonna talk about what everybody else talking about. So one that starts with Freaknic. So the documentary that was on Hulu, I caught it over the weekend. Did you see it?
I did. I watched it the first night it came out.
Yeah. So now, did you go to Freak? I mean, I know we were actually at the same time. You didn't get okay.
I did not, man.
I think you would catch the tail end of it, at least like the last couple years or last one.
Man, my parents wouldn't let me go downtown by myself.
No, but I'm saying when you were in college though, that's more what I mean. Like when you got
because you know what? By the time I got to Hampton, man, I got to Virginia, and that was pretty much that was the end of it. Because this is I was in college during the 98, spring 98,
right?
So it would have been basically over at that point.
Yeah.
The last one, I ain't had no money, man, so I came home.
Listen, it's like. And of course, I know our parents wouldn't let us go in high school, dog. That's just
ain't no shot.
Nah, I mean,
I used to hear people that said, "Man, we went to Freaknic."
Y'all lying. They know they was
lying.
Come
on, man.
It's like
really?
We just see, because now you gotta have proof. You gotta be like, what's up on the social? Show me the picture. You know what I'm saying? Then you can just say you went.
Man, it was off the hook.
But they just recounting stories.
Right.
But I just remember thinking like, yo, this sounds like what I want this place I want to be.
Absolutely.
Because we've been to Caravana, I ain't gonna say too much stuff, but it's like that when we went there for the first Caravana, we were on Young Street. Shout out to Young Street. And it's like cars stopping, traffic stop.
Yeah,
that's
what it was
I thought
yeah.
Freaknic was. And it's like, but we in Canada, so we can't really get too live. It's like, hey man, we gotta cross the border. But it's like this was happening in Atlanta, and it was just so amazing how this was the first viral thing that it's like pre-internet, no social media. I mean, I guess the only thing they had was a video cameras that was showing chicks wild, like
video cameras you had on your shoulder. Remember those? The camcorders.
And it made me think of Caravana because again, when Jalen Rose like, yeah, you just parked your car and came back to it. Because plenty of times we were like, hey, this dude just left his car with these TVs open.
Yeah,
Why would we just steal it? He left it open.
Well, he left it open, but you wasn't going nowhere.
Go nowhere either. Yeah, you can't go nowhere either.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it just looked like at first, just this. Well, I'll say this. I honestly thought Freaknic was just how all Black college campuses were. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really realize, and again, I didn't really realize it was like Black Spring Break weekend, right? Until I kind of watched the movie. I didn't know when it happened, because obviously I wasn't going. I just knew that it happened. You know what I'm saying? But I think it just starting out as this Black college weekend, because again, that big point about Daytona and Galveston. Shout out to CG the Boss. We went to Daytona, and when you go to Daytona, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see people, black people there, but you like this
This
ain't
ain't
for
for you,
us.
right,
This
right,
this ain't
right.
this ain't for us. And so, but you there because you got, and we had 2 weeks off of spring break. So I think we went to Daytona and then went home. Yeah. But like you get there, you like, this ain't for me. But one thing I thought about was like, how college kids are broke. Cause it's you just show up at a place and hope everything works out. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you eat? You know
No,
what I'm
no
saying? I mean,
hotels.
no hotel. And it's like, I understood. It's like, you know what? That's why then people be macking so hard. It ain't to get some, it's to get a shower. It's to get good night's sleep.
I
You
was
know what I'm
like, man,
saying? You might
where did
have a snack or two. You know what I'm saying?
where did people shower down there?
People just out there nasty and musty. As you know what I'm saying? Because somebody didn't get lucky. Like somebody didn't come up on the lick and be like,
Right,
I'm
right,
in this
right.
girl room, I'm using her soap,
I'm
whatever.
I'm I'm gonna say most people did.
No, but here's the thing. So let's talk through that, right? So, how does this work? Yeah. Can I take your shower? So you put it back on the musty clothes that you had. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your deodorant situation? I mean, I'm just these are details, right? It's
Right,
like they didn't show that on the video. It just was more like, yeah, they're shaking their butt, but there's their butt stink because
right,
have
right.
have they have they showered? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe in the 90s people were cool with that. I don't know.
But I feel
I
like
don't
that in
remember.
the early stages, it was like it made sense. People probably was just staying in their dorm rooms, right? Slid back to their room when it was like college spring break. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
yeah, the early days, you had people that were down there that were still in school
Yeah,
on the HB on the AU Center, right?
yeah.
And then you
So
had people that came home,
right
right,
to Atlanta,
to
right,
Atlanta.
right,
Yeah, so they
yeah.
were just going home.
And you figure if you in Tennessee, maybe you drive up for the day, drive back home. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right,
And then
right,
just drive back up the next day. But when
right.
it became the thing, it's like, oh, y'all just out here smelling. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just out here stinking and just passing it all
But I was
around,
wild.
putting it on top of a car.
I remember the stories.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe shot. Well, because because I'm talking about so said well,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
shout out to
know. I
high.
know what you're talking about. I know
But
what you're
yeah,
talking about.
he went and I'm sure he enjoyed himself, and it's crazy because we just missed it, dog. Like but it seemed like the times we would have been able to go would have been more violent. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of reckless. And it seemed like, again, it sounded like the old dudes messed it up. This is like, it was cool when it was the college kids, everybody's having a good time. It's like the old dudes got wind of it, saw the video, and wanted to come down and make this stuff happen, man. That's unfortunate. But also too, it seemed, and then maybe I get this from the video, but I can understand it. It's like the way it was going, um, it was getting out of control. But I was thinking like they could have kept this. You know what I'm saying? It's not unlike, and I don't want, well, it's what it is, the schism, right? But it's like
Well,
they say Patrick's Day parades, right? I'm sure they got out of hand at some point over the years, right? People, because they
remember
make a point.
they tried to like the South Side Irish Parade. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's one by my house. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think they at some point they were trying to stop that because there was so much public drunkenness and that sort of thing going on.
yeah.
And they were able to sort of push it aside and say, hey, we'll control it a
Or
little
make
more.
rules, or make or to your point, just make rules around it that makes it a little more safer, because it's just accepted and known. City about to be locked up, it's downtown on a Saturday, and it's by my crib on a Sunday. I don't even come back this way. As I don't. We leave the house for church at 9. I don't come back till
Yeah,
about 4
yeah.
5. I don't, because I don't even, first time I lived over here. And I ain't know, what I'm saying? I ain't know the ass. I just, because I know I've lived over this way, but I never had to live past Western, so I didn't know, what was happening, bro. And I'm trying to come home. I'm lost. I'm all
Yeah,
current
you don't
around
know where
traffic.
to, yeah,
I don't know what's
how to get
happening.
home.
I'm like,
Yeah.
did somebody get shot? Like, what is my house safe? I get home, they was like, yeah, it's a parade, happens every year. Thanks for telling me now. You know what I'm saying? But all that to say, like, for what Freaknik was and what it was trying to be, they could have, the city of Atlanta, because I mean, I think also too with the Olympics had already passed. So it was like, what I'm saying? Like it was still kind of going, but I feel like they could have worked with, I guess it was no, remember
Well,
that's on the
there
problem
was
too. Nobody to work with, right?
nobody,
Nobody,
right,
no
right.
organizing body, but still like, then it could have been, forming a body, because I think the whole idea of having these black kids and young people coming down here for these parties and the events, I'm that brought money to the city, right? And then also the way it was affecting music and merchandise, all those things. And yeah, it was getting out of control, and there'd been more police presence because again, these women were getting attacked. I mean, what they called them in Carolina, the harassment
The
zone.
harassment
Remember that?
zone. I remember
Yeah.
that.
It's like, it's all funny until it's your sister, you know what I'm saying, or your auntie,
Right.
or you know what I'm saying,
Right.
or your
Right.
friend, right? And so then and so that had to happen, but there could have been a way they could have kept it and kept it moving. What was hilarious though was how they was all crapping on my man who got the trademark for Freaknic, and it's like, this ain't the real
This ain't
Freaknic.
it.
What you want me to do? He
You
can only
old
do what he
people,
can.
man. Yeah, let that man live. He
Yeah.
trying to start something.
I mean, they
You know.
essentially killed his whole business plan. I know
Yeah.
he's like, for real, dog?
You
Because now,
you what
okay.
you wasn't here.
Well, of course, that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
And it's like, Luke said it. He the reason got out of control. And it was like it was a cool party until this brother showed up
Until
and people was
right.
wild in the streets. Because I
Right.
remember hearing people was having sex in the street, girls was just neck in the street, and you like, they doing that on
Yeah.
purpose?
Yeah.
How old am I?
I,
Can't wait to get
man,
18.
I'm trying to get there.
Hey man, all I know is I couldn't get to Virginia. I'm in Massachusetts. I sure want to get to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just what it is. I never even got to visit Chris in Tennessee, man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went to Tennessee State when my cousin Hype graduated, and it was like, oh, this is beautiful. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I
Yeah.
still didn't want to PWI. But did you enjoy the documentary?
I did. It was good. It was good.
Yeah,
They did
yeah.
a good job with it. I'm surprised at all the footage they were able to get.
That was wild, right?
People, yeah,
Dog,
yeah.
I know people
And
watching that like, I
people
hope
didn't
they.
get I hope they didn't people didn't get busted out. I was
Well,
looking, I was like they sort of, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, and the real bad stuff they blurred out
mm,
faces. So
mm.
maybe, maybe people were saved by that. I don't know. But
Nah, they know that was them when they saw it. It was like, oh God,
but
that's
it's
me.
some parents out there right now that got some explaining to do.
But it's like, but I mean, it seemed like it was a good time. Like it was a great time. But I mean, it just sucks that it went left. But things don't always last forever. It was a blast while it lasted, and you hate that woman got attacked.
Absolutely. That was senseless, man.
Yeah, and even what it ended up becoming, like even like how they were talking about the Music Street team, just what it became. It's like there are not a lot of spaces in places that are authentically black, right? Like maybe there's like a church or there's like a block, but like large events. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
would you agree with that? And so I feel like Freaknik was that, minus all like the debauchery and stuff. It was just like, hey, we're young, we black, we from all over. We are looking forward to being together. Like there's a place in Chinatown that is like it's a market is, and when you walk in there, I remember I walked in and I had to step back outside to make sure I was still in Chicago, right? Because it was like you walk in and you don't, it feels like a Chinese market, right?
Right, right.
Everything's a Chinese. They got different stores. You go upstairs.
I know what you're
They,
talking about.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they got
yeah,
specialty Kit Kats and all kind
yeah,
of stuff.
yeah.
And I was like, yo, where's the equivalent of this for a black person? Well, like when I go in there, everything is like for me, right? Obviously, that's a loaded question because of being black is not necessarily a place; it's more of a cultural thing, and it's also a mixture of different regions and different things over the years that make it quote unquote black. So that's hard to capture in one homogenous space. But still, the point is being made. You look at a place like Freaknik, that became a black space, right? It's like this is where black stuff is happening. Music, fashion, dancing, you know what I'm saying? Just congregating, meeting different people from you find out the more commonalities you got. And you imagine, I'm sure you have people had lots of notepads and papers with phone numbers, but imagine a Freaknik now with phones and how connected you can be with people, right? And just like the more building your network that kind of way. So I do believe they could have kept it
Well,
going, but
it's amazing they were able to continuously build it
yeah. Well,
with with no social media. Then you think back like, man, how were they able to do
that
that?
is
Just word of mouth.
and it's like you just knew where to go. Because I was thinking that too, like, so you just jump in the car and you hope you run into Piedmont Park. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like you can drive, say if you're on the west side, but you're like, yeah, we got to get to what's something west? Like just get to
I
Evergreen
don't
Park. Obviously,
know.
that's more of a place. But you know the point I'm
I
making.
was
It's
gonna
like
say I
it is
don't
a
hang out. I don't hang out west all that
no,
often.
but I'm saying no. If it was like, let's go, go to 87th Dan Ryan Woods, but you
Yeah,
on Madison and Central, like
yeah.
you. That's just where that's where the route you came from, wherever lands you there. You have no shot against 87th and Dan Ryan Woods. So it was a miracle. People were just like knowing where to go and knowing how to get there, man. It's like that traffic would have got me though. I don't really like traffic like that. But again,
Well,
trying to carry
that
Atlanta,
last one where they wouldn't letting people off the
that's disrespectful.
off the expressways
Yeah, they could have done. And see,
or
and
the
all
I should
that,
say, wait, they don't call it the expressway, the interstates.
but I think that in a weird way incited more anger because it's like not people just mad.
Nah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, because you
And
stuck, you
that
can't go nowhere,
right. It's
and
like
you
you
don't know where you're going.
don't, and so now people just parking wherever. And
Yeah,
it's almost better to let them off the interstate and then congregate in some particular space. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I guess hindsight is 2020, and I can see from the city side it's getting out of control. But it's funny how like it's a worry of out of control when it's a group of young black people.
right,
And
right,
we've seen this events, and it's again that's the other side of it. It's like it's hard to have an event because the thought is always somebody's gonna get shot and somebody
right.
that's not really the case. So and sometimes people getting shot, they not the black people doing the shooting. You know what I'm saying? When people come to incite, say a riot, man. But it was a good documentary. I like when I see a documentary because when we were younger, it'd be about like the 70s or the 60s. And
The
we,
big one
we don't have right,
for when we were growing up, I think the big one was always the Woodstock stuff.
right.
What
But
was
but
going
I
on there?
but even that point, just more, you see documentary, but you didn't live it. And it's like now we see documentaries and like we were
We
around
were
during
around
that
there, yeah,
time. And so
yeah.
you have some perspective on what was happening, like the COVID pandemic documentary. That's gonna be wild when we see everybody in hazmat suits going to pick up their food. That's
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
wild to
oh
see
yeah.
now. We're about to see. So the other thing everybody's been talking about all week is the D, the I, the D, the D, the Y. That's Diddy. And that brother got caught by the Alphabet Boys is, hey dog, hey
You
dog,
don't want them around. You
hey
definitely don't
dog.
want them around.
When the Alphabet Boys come to your door, that
That's
they got what they need, fam.
that's guaranteed. They know.
They don't lose cases, bruh.
Right,
Nah,
right,
nah,
right.
nah, nah. They got
What
what
is
they
it?
need,
90? Is it
man.
95% conviction rate?
Bruh. And I wondered what happened with the five. You know what I'm saying? Like the five was like, wait, what?
That's there just because it can't always
They
be.
can't fix it. They
Yeah,
can't be always right.
it can't be
Because
100%.
then the fight looks fixed.
Right,
Yes, it
right.
is. But yeah, man, when them Alphabet Boys show up, hey man, it's wild. But I know everybody's talked about it from every different angle. The no Diddy jokes are this. Listen, the internet is merciless. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is just merciless, man. I know you ain't on IG yet, but just go to 50's page. Most of his posts are about Diddy and this whole thing, man. But it got me thinking about it. And it's like, is there anybody out there that like they get rich and famous and don't be weird? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this what it costs to be famous? I mean, maybe it's an entertainment thing, but now I understand. Like remember back in the day, being a recluse was like the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It was like even though you were famous, people did their best to hide and like kind of keep, try to quote unquote live some kind of normal life, right?
Yeah.
But now it feels like now there's this entertainment life that has to be lived. And I'm sure they were doing this I'm sure it's definitely in the Rat Pack day. They probably doing some wild stuff.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I'm sure it's probably they probably laughing at Diddy.
Watch the Rat Pack movie.
Yeah.
You learn a lot what was going on in Vegas during the early 60s.
But it's crazy. It's like, is this what it costs to be, famous? I mean, I'm asking that question very seriously because it's like you keep hearing about stuff in the music industry and like you're trying to make it big, or even the movie industry, just Hollywood entertainment
Hollywood.
general.
Right,
And
right.
it's like people selling their souls and doing these things to get ahead. Is it? Because I mean, hey, who doesn't want to be famous, right? I mean, you would you do you want to be? Would you like to be famous? As for real, like to be famous.
I've thought about it.
See, I guess so. My thought is this.
I don't know if I really, based on what I've, I don't know if I want to be.
Well, see, yeah, the older you get, you like, no, I'm
Wait,
cool, bro.
I
I'm
want to be
cool.
rich.
Yeah, but see,
I
that's the
don't know about
thing.
famous though.
I feel like I want to be famous because I did something that's impactful, right? You see what I'm saying? You know
That
me
makes
because
sense.
I'm the guy that did dot.
Right,
Not just y'all know me. You see what I'm saying?
right.
Just because I'm in here, I'm doing the most and I'm on the gram the most. It's like, no, he's Robert Griggs. He and Ez started this podcast that became the most popular thing in the world. Shout out, put it in the atmosphere. But you know, it's like, and then it's feel like these people who get all this money and get all this, it's like they can't do nothing normal no more. Like, you know, clearly we heard about these parties that he was throwing. He just couldn't throw a normal party no more. Like the white party just wasn't it no more,
It got
dog.
boring, man. Got boring.
Just you know what we gotta do?
We
What we
gotta do
gotta
something
do?
extra.
It's like, Joe,
You know what we
hey
gonna do?
man, jeez, bro.
Yeah,
Call
yeah.
people in. Like it's wild, man. And so it's I guess, you know, it made me thinking too, man. So if this is what Diddy's doing, what is Bezos doing? Like, what his parties are like? And maybe he can pay for he his money so long you'll never know. It's like you'll never know what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Didn't he
nah.
have enough to keep people quiet? This is insane. So as maybe it was a few months ago, I don't think it was a full year ago, but remember we talked about Diddy kind of selling those publishing back. He was like on this tour, right? And he put the new album out,
Hmm.
it was now infamously called Off the Grid. He was nominated for a Grammy for that thing. It was just wow. And it was like, you know, man, Diddy's doing his business thing. He was fighting with Diageo, right? And saying they were being racist to him. And then all of a sudden this stuff hit. And it's almost like, did he know something was coming? Like, was he, you know, doing his publishing to buy people silence? Because I'm sure when he signed it over, that's what Aubrey O'Day was saying from Danity Kane.
Right.
Like, you signed it over,
So
but
you
you had to
sign over,
sign.
you got
Yeah, you
a
can't say
NDA.
anything
Right, right.
because now because you would imagine the artists are the first people they will go talk to try to get something out of them. And if they've signed these things, not much they can really say. You know, I mean, again, I don't know how that works with a federal case or something like this, but if, how an NDA is enforced if it doesn't, if it's going to support a case. Does that make sense? Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
oh yeah.
if I commit a crime, but I sign an NDA to, you know, you can't say anything about it. You know, I don't know if that's really enforceable, but it's just wild, like how much can change in a year. Like literally, it was like Diddy, you know, he's like, I'm starting my own black marketplace digitally. One Love Records, remember, Off the Grid, and it was, you know, I came in and told you I was busted because it was, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like, this is probably the last time I'm gonna say Diddy's name in a public space or
Right.
forum, bro, because it's wild, man. And
It's crazy. I saw Mark Curry was on he was on with what's my man used to be at CNN, Chris Cuomo.
mhm. Oh, shout out
And
to Cuomo.
yeah. And Mark Curry said, well, I don't know nothing about nothing, but karma comes back and hits hard.
Dang, dang. Wow.
So yeah, yeah, I'm sure these artists know what's going on.
Mhm.
So it's just a sad occurrence, man.
Yeah. But so, you know, in the, you know, the R. Kelly case and this case here, it's a month, you know, when I kept seeing, because this is going to take a serious turn here just for a second, human trafficking, and that's just kind of the charges, right? And I was thinking, like, when I hear that, I'm thinking of like some large scale, like operation, right? Where they're like,
Yeah, taken.
uh, yeah, or like, you know,
Yeah,
like you're right, they're putting women in cargo,
right, right.
and then shipping them to another country. But I looked up the definition because it was like, maybe there's a better definition that I'm just not aware of. So here it is from the justice.gov. What is human trafficking? Human trafficking, also known as trafficking in persons, is a crime that involves compelling or coercing a person to provide labor or services or to engage in commercial sex acts. The coercion can be subtle or overt, physical or psychological. Exploitation of a minor for commercial sex is human trafficking, regardless of whether any form of force, fraud, or coercion was used. So that's just kind of the basic definition. So like when you read it like that, that's what then it was like, oh, because I was like, man,
That yeah,
that's a big charge, but
yeah.
that's per the law. These are what the charges are saying. And so even with the stuff with, especially like with, because I was thinking like, man, how was, and more only because I just didn't understand. When they were talking about the Cassie case, it's like, well, based upon her, the claim she made in the case and this definition. If he was forcing her to do certain things, that is considered human trafficking. It's
Right.
like, bruh, they got you. You know what I'm saying? Again, they ain't coming just because, and just that definition is a real thing. And so I think when we hear stuff like this, we have to know what it really means. So even if we see it in other spaces, because I'm sure there's other people that are not Diddy's, right? But they want to be Diddy's. You know what I'm saying? And you see these things like we have to sometimes call a thing what it is, man. But yeah, that was from justice.gov. I think this is something we should be mindful of. It's not, it's like even like, abuse or anything. Like it's not just the larger act that we think of when we see something in a movie or what have you. Sometimes we see small subtle things that can also be the same. So we
Now
just gotta be careful. Go ahead.
my question is, number one, what were they looking to find at his houses? They searched his house in LA and his house in Miami, I believe. Or is that right? Was it
Yeah.
Miami or New York? Yeah,
No,
Miami
it's Miami and LA.
and
Yeah.
LA. Yeah. What were they looking to find? And then why did they come with so much force? I mean, they had like paramilitary vehicle tanks almost that were rolling through.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I'm
was
with you.
the purpose of that,
I
or
might be
or
upset
the
again. Well,
the the image that they were trying to
yeah,
portray with doing that?
yeah, because I'm well, again, like we said, it's like, all right, we'll take the man down. Y'all know where you know what I'm saying? Y'all, if y'all roll up on his house, you know where he is, you know where he been, you know what he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't have to be this large spectacle. I think that was unfortunately for the TVs, right? For TV and the news, and to be like, we got this guy. We
Yeah,
got this one who thought he was bigger than anything. Nope. We're gonna show him. And I mean, and that's unfortunately like when they pull, like, when we talk about people pulling the black people over, right, and it becoming a way more aggressive situation than it should be, right? Because you're black, I have to have this additional force. It's like, do you really? You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like,
right.
do you really? And so I'm with you, Ez. I don't think it took all of that to be like, we got you, because y'all got them. I mean, again, we like we said, you said 95%, and the 5% is really just for show, just so it don't look fixed. So he know it's a wrap. Y'all had him at the airport. He was whatever you saw that video where he was at the was it the Oscars? And he's just looking. I don't know if you saw that. There's a video of him at
No,
the Oscars. Yeah, Oscars or Grammys, one of the two. He was sitting at a space. People were around him. I guess I was with him. He's kind of looking around. Flavor Flav walked by him, didn't say nothing. And I was like, oh, that's not because everybody want to talk to Diddy, right? Diddy
right,
the party,
right,
but when this happens, like, hey, bro, I don't be saying taking your hand, Joe Nathan. And so and they showed him just kind of looking over his shoulders. A lot of again, you probably reading into maybe it's an old video. Who knows? At this point, it could have been an AI video, man. But I think at this point they knew what they had and they were going to have him. So I think that was honestly because he's a celebrity, right? They knew this was going to, and not, but mind you, shout out to him. It was a podcast. They was asking about the celebrity of Diddy. And it's like, truly, Diddy has been a big celebrity for a very long time. And this is actually a very sad story in terms of like black celebrity, right? Because it's like,
well, it's been 30 years for him.
man, and think about what he's done. You know what I'm saying? Just from like he really made our culture the main culture. Like if we gonna keep it a buck, right? Like he helped usher that in. You know what I'm saying? Like black culture, in terms of at first it was obviously with the music. Like Sean John is a way bigger deal than I think we give it credit for. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just big old jeans. It was like really like them velour suits. Everybody had one rocking them, the regular suits,
Hmm.
jackets. It was like really a big deal, like that he had this, and then just became a larger mode. Like the making the band shows, right? Like that was like nothing really was popping like that. And here he is making bands, and it's a whole big deal running them there. It's like he just knew what to do to move the culture along. And it's like, man, bro, but this was your hobby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This was your hobby on the side, fam. And so that's just harder because again, that's a person that's going away, right? And so it's like who replaces that? But also the other side of it is like, is he about to be in jail? Like it was this person too, this person, like
Yeah.
Cat Williams did say it. He was like, it's about to be a rap for y'all
Yeah,
this show.
yeah.
Those were the words out of his mouth. And it's like, doggone, who else is, if that's the case, who else is next, man? So
You
it's gonna
know,
be a wild 24.
going back to what Mark Curry said, and the Mark Curry talking about the rapper, he
Mhm.
did Bad Boy for Life was his big hit.
Okay.
Um,
That he wrote for Diddy, right?
that he wrote, yeah, yeah. But
Don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks.
I write
Is it
checks.
that one?
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
your main line.
That's Mark Curry.
Yeah.
But he said that the problem with Diddy was he never grew up. And so
I see.
you got a man that, you know, is in his 50s, but he's still dealing with, you know, people in their early 20s.
I could see that
He
because
never he just never sometimes you gotta grow up. And
yeah,
he never
because
did.
because he was still the party guy. I say, bro, you 54.
Right,
Come
right,
on. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like go on a trip. You know what I'm saying? You got all these kids, and these kids are like those twin girls are like 17, 18.
Yeah, the
And so, it's like you still hanging out with, again, nothing against the older brother with some young gals. Hey, I understand. But still, it's like, look, what, what you really doing, though, dog? You got a lot
right,
to lose. You know what I'm saying?
right,
In this point, what are you still doing this for? And that's a cautionary tale about getting older. Like there is a point, so at church, I had this Bible study for men. They were talking, one of the things was about like, what's the term that they use? But pretty much it was essentially like you never grow up. Like that's a downfall of a man. Like never getting past that like teenage stage of like no responsibilities. I'm doing my own thing. Like that at some point you have to think my actions will have a equal or opposite reaction, right? It's like there's some be some consequences to my action, good or bad. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? And so like it won't be this way forever. And I always say this is, you see an old dude like with some kind of like haircut, like the pork chop joint, right? Because in that era, he was the man. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
That was his style.
he can't let it go. You
Yeah,
understand? He's
yeah.
like, listen, I was killing them when I had the pork chop. You understand me? They kept throwing numbers at me. They just gave me the phone book and said, "Find me, baby." You understand? Yeah, see that kind of stuff. So I feel like Diddy is the same way. In his era, he was the party guy. And you just gotta know it ain't. I think that's hard for people to understand in general, right? Like everybody don't you sometimes some people have their turn is longer than others, but at some point your turn is up. Like
Yeah,
you gotta move out the way to let the young people come in, and that'd be some of the problem. You still want to hold on to the era, and that's why they can't come up because you're not out the way. Get out the. It's like you gotta know when to get out the way because there's still other stuff for you to do. It's still other stuff to be done. Like
right.
somebody got to teach them how to do it and show them how to do it. Like show them how to stay out of trouble. Now you gotta. Now the lesson is watch out for a guy like this. Because I mean that because I have to be completely honest. It's like the reason I look at this is because my son Chase wants to be an actor and entertainer. I think about this all the time, like, man, I can't be with him everywhere. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like I can't be with him everywhere. And at some point he gonna run into this. And I'm just hoping and praying I could teach him enough about himself, about confidence in himself, and hoping he doesn't want fame so bad that he'll do whatever, even if he's
Right.
not doing this stuff. But whatever compromise he would, is presented to him, that he just chooses to be like, you know what, I'm okay. I don't want it that bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I think about it. To talk about when you see really, really famous people that gave up something. It's like that's again, the older I get, I'm thinking like, dude, what did you give up? Is this
Yeah.
if this is true, what did you do? Because you're really big right now. Oh boy, versus somebody who's struggling, but it's like, hey, I may not have big records, what I'm saying? I may just be black famous, but guess what? I go to sleep at night, sleep well, knowing I didn't give up nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm me. I'm not violated. I did not violate anybody. And again, this is a large assumption I just can't believe this is the entire industry. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't want to put that blanket on the music entertainment industry is bad because it's not. We enjoy it all, but I'm sure there are vultures. There are people who are
Yeah.
taking advantage
There's
of,
some dark sides.
and that's the thing. It's like they're taking advantage of these young people, and that's the part that's really disheartening, man. So I'm just hoping that, like, if my son or anybody's listening to have children who want to be entertainers, that they'll. Because I feel like too, it's just time and evolution. Before these people were younger, and maybe their families didn't understand about the music industry, or just didn't know nothing. So people had to go at it by themselves. So they made some poor decisions. Then maybe people just, maybe then the next level was, well, my parents are well to do, but I'm trying to just do things on my own. I feel like now, like I'm hoping like me and other parents like me understand what the pitfalls are, and we could be there like, nah, it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You get and thankfully now you can control out of your destiny. You know what I'm saying? Like, because also too, this is what I was gonna make. Generation before us, maybe they knew a little bit more, but it's like, hey, we need this money you're gonna make. So sign that deal and get the quote unquote $1 million, but it's tied to a bunch of loans and all other things. I feel like now we can say, yeah, you ain't got to sign that. You'll be all right. We'll help fund it, or you can make it on YouTube. You can we could, until you get a better deal, you can do it right. So hopefully, as time moves on, people can make better decisions as they enter into entertainment. But it's
Right.
scary. Like
Yeah.
just reading this it's like, who wants to be in entertainment? Why would you? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's wild. And it's just like, you want money, want a lot of it, but it's like, if it's gonna make me a weirdo, y'all can keep it.
You can. Right.
Actually,
Right.
not take that back. I promise I won't be a weirdo. Give me the money. I'll figure it.
I'll
I'll
figure it out.
figure it out.
That's it.
I'll figure it out. I'll show you guys I can do it for sure. So as last thing before we get out of here, it's just kind of like dads and adults, but um, so I was chasing I went somewhere, and I had to fill something out for him, and he had to sign his name. And he looked at me. I said, "Well, sign your name, son." And so he wrote it in print. And I was like, "Oh, that's right. They don't teach you guys cursive anymore, you know?" And I thought about that, just like I remember vividly, third grade, it
So
being a whole thing, learning cursive. Go ahead.
how do you wait? How do they sign their names now? Just print?
Just in print. Yeah. So like, when if you go like to some student thing, or the doctor, and they go put sign patient name, just trying to make them, just trying to bit by bit make them more responsible and know how things go.
You
So you
might
have
as
to
well
sign
just
your name.
remember they just said, if you couldn't read it right, you just signed it. You might have just signed X then. What?
I know it's
That's
wild,
weird
man.
to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I've been on this thing of just like, so the last couple of days over spring break, I had a cursive book here, but I just had the boys practice because they ain't nobody doing cursive nowadays. That's just the truth. But it's like, at least you should be able to sign your
Sign
name.
your
So I've been,
name. Yeah. That's
yeah.
the only time I use it now.
Yeah, so I've been having them just sign their name, like practice just the letters of their name. Get that. It's funny. I had to show them my original signature when it was like I spelled out every letter in my name. Versus
Yeah.
now, it's that R and that G. You
The
know what I'm saying?
autograph.
Yeah, yeah. But so it's like, no, this was like, this is how dads look. This is my R. You know what I'm saying? And they did it, and so it was funny because Aiden is more of a drawer. So he was with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a different struggle, because I've heard before that cursive writing introduces you into art because of how you have to draw, use the stroke of the pen. That's like
Yeah.
the stroke of an artist. And so Aiden draws it. He was able to kind of get it a little bit easier. Chase's handwriting, it was like, yeah, you're gonna be an entertainer because your signature is not looking not looking the best. So they don't know who signed
Well,
this.
he's not practicing, man.
Yeah, but
Not
hey,
practicing
man,
that
hey,
much.
man, hey, I was a wonder kid. I'm tough on these kids, man. So, but I saw online that 23 states require cursive in our public schools. Of course, Illinois is on the list, but this is a more recent development, which is why my kids got kind of passed over. But I think it's a third to sixth grade requirement, and I mean they're in sixth grade now, so it's like they just missed this whole thing. But they were just talking about, it's so many the Common Core method. So that was kind of became like the standard, because they wanted to make a universal standard of teaching in schools, just so maybe kids can learn the same thing. And so the Common Core's state standards didn't include cursive writing, right? It was included math and things like, these are things you have to kind of learn to move on. So cursive became something by the wayside, and also teachers were saying, the whole cursive teaching just was hard and a lot of time. So then it became a whole, we don't need to do it. Who's using it anyway? I mean, that's kind of fair, because think about, as we just said, the only time you sign writing cursive is when you sign your name. Like, going on the days where girls shout out are writing you love letters, three-page letters, all in cursive, perfect penmanship. You know what I'm saying? You got a couple of, I know you got a boxes of those, right? Yeah, that was you.
I had a couple.
So modest is. But yes. So they're like, so I love the Bears, is I really do. She like me too. So yeah, so like they said, cursive is making a comeback.
Winner.
Because well, one, they were saying like because the students need to learn more about cursive, just being able to, just having that, they'll be so dependent upon technology. Another point is researchers are saying credit learning how to write in cursive has an array of benefits for young people, from building fine motor skills, stimulating and creative synergies between different hemispheres of the brain. But I guess this feels like an old guy comment, because it just feels like writing cursive like was a milestone in life, right? It's like you move beyond the kiddie writing a
Oh, that
print.
was a huge deal.
And it's like once you can write in cursive, because it was like once you write in cursive, you write in pen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you weren't doing the pencil. It was a pen you needed to write in cursive. And it's like, I'm an official adult, right? You know what I'm saying? I am enough. And I remember writing stuff. And I've been writing in print a lot of my life, but it's like I always sign my name if I had to write a cursive. And it kind of got to the point where you made your own kind of cursive. Like, for example, my R in my name is not the standard cursive R. I make this weird loop. But you kind of had your own flavor to it. But it's just because you're writing it so much, man. But it's something like I thought that was interesting to see. And if you got young kids, I just say encourage them to. I bought a book from Amazon, just like how to write in cursive. When we just chilling, I just give it to the boys. They kind of write in it a few times, but again, the biggest thing, just sign your name, sign
Shout
your name.
shout out, my dad has a really good signature, cursive
Mm,
signature.
yeah,
Like I don't know how he's able. It's his own. Like I can tell his out of
yeah,
anything, and
yeah,
it's really good. I was never
yeah.
able to perfect it like he has. So yeah.
Yeah, and see, mine has nuances. Like even though I've tried to have somebody, I've been forced. I'll tell you after that line. But it's like it's like you. It's hard to mimic mine. I kind of made it that way. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Yeah,
I kind of write
yeah.
it. You got to really knock it out and know it to do it. But I think that's a life skill. It's just signing your name. You know what I'm saying? Because like my grandfather, he couldn't read. He used to sign the X. Now my dad is funny because his penmanship isn't the greatest. Like he signed his name, he got to do circles in the air and then put it on the piece of paper. Shout out. I hope he don't hate us. He'd be so mad. Shout out to my dad. But again, I think it's just a
Had to
life.
get it ready.
He was like, all right, warming up. Oh, all right,
There it
warming
is.
up. Yeah, but I think again, just as I looked at them, just on my mind has just been like, y'all are 12, y'all gonna be 16 before I know it. And these are things like this. My greatest fear is, I've said this in privately to people, I say this in public now, is like I don't want them to meet some little girl in the future when they 21. It's like, who raised you? And it's like I'm just heartbroken, like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. So I can't let y'all down, man. But it's like,
I
look,
was messing up.
yeah, sorry, guys. Like, you didn't know how to sign your name. Like, shit, she teaching, Miss, Kalakale, whatever her name's gonna be, is gonna teach him. I had to teach him how to sign his name. His parents, they meet me. Now they got a little funky looking face, and I'm just smiling. You know what I mean? She think
Look at
nothing of me.
this
So
disappointing
this
dad.
this is your dad. This is the guy. Sorry, jeez, I'm just trying to teach him. I was too
Oh
busy. It
man.
was three of them at the same time, girl. Well, shoot, doing my best out here.
I got one
But
oh a famous deal here. I got a few signed baseballs by some pretty good Major League Baseball players,
mm,
and a couple are signed by Frank Thomas, my favorite baseball player of all
oh
time.
wow, yeah.
One is from his rookie year, and you talked about how spell out
Sorry. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
sign out all the letters.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was his rookie year, and then I got one signed that was when he made the Hall of Fame, and
It's the
it's
F for
like
the T.
it's a great signature, like like an autograph. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
he got some training there on how
yeah. Outside
to
his name. Yeah.
how to
Well,
make it, how to
but she figured they signing balls, paws all the time, and it's like,
yeah.
you know,
I got to figure out a
they
way to do this
yeah,
quick,
yeah, right. And it's like, and also just the
but
more because
still make it look good.
yeah, because I'm
And
telling
he
you, I
did that.
I was trying, when the boys were writing, I was writing in cursive, and my hand was, what I'm saying? It was like, this is crazy. Oh man, speaking of the head hurting, this sounds weird. So you know, I got this PS. This is me talking to you. Sorry, guys, y'all got to listen to me and ask. So the kids got the PS5, right?
Okay.
Do you know it's a sham? Like when we had a game and you had one controller, you just plugged another controller, right? And it just worked magically, right? Do you know I have to sign like a new user to do all this roundabout stuff to use a second controller?
Yeah.
That stuff is
That's
stupid.
the new way, man.
I almost took this thing back. The hand hurt because I was playing 2K. I said, Mom, I had to practice. My hand hurting. Like my hand hurt from hand. My hand is hurting from handwriting. It's hurting from playing video games. I'm old now to practice. I was like, yo, PS5, y'all nickel and diming me left and right. Thank you for letting me vent.
Did you buy the controller charger?
Nah, man,
No?
you know, listen, I'm just taking the cord and using these adapters in the crib. They just gonna have to wait. They just gonna have to wait.
I got I got the charger next to me so that, you know, I just put the controller back on the charger, the charger back up, because sometimes, man, it's nerve-wracking. You get in and then you're on one bar. And then your game gonna stop on you. So yeah, you gotta be careful there, man.
Well, I'm talking big, but you know, I'll probably have a charger, you know, soon. And I think I got the bug. I was playing 2K and I was watching Chase as he was the 85, 86 Bulls, and I was the 2024 Western All-Stars smoked. And I was like, oh, I got to itch.
Why you do that to him, man?
Hey, he tried to cheat. I was going to pick Golden State, the Golden State Warriors, and he did something weird and he picked the team for me. I was like, okay, no, we're gonna stay like this. And we just
he got Mike and
50
Mike,
to 20.
I'm saying Mike is gonna get him his buckets, but nobody else can score on that team.
It was like Charles Oakley was busting him up, man.
Maybe Orlando Woolridge to get you a couple buckets.
Scotty,
that's about it.
Wasn't even on the team, dude.
No,
I was smashing him, man. It's like
was George?
You get.
Do they have George Gervin on that team in 2K?
No, I don't think they had him in 2K because he was on the bench. You know, we didn't run no subs. I just run everybody in the ground. Man.
So he probably if I think
like
right.
Sellers, somebody named Sellers.
He had Brad Sellers.
Yeah, it was like
he had Kyle Macy.
I was shocked when he scored. Oakley scored. I was like, this is disrespectful. Come on, Jokic.
And my main man Dave Corzine.
Hey man, that's what he get. He tried to play me. That's what he get. He's like, I'll play by myself that I bet you will play by yourself. Yes. So thank you guys for checking out the Super Duper Pie. Oh, don't forget, make sure you guys have a safe and happy Easter, happy Resurrection Day. Make sure you guys are safe, enjoy your family. You know, put all the pictures of those kids. Shout out to the boys. Shout out to Bunny the barber. The boys gonna get their haircuts on Saturday. They got the big boy haircuts now. Tapers, fades. You know what I'm saying? And took them to the tailor. Got their suits fitted just right. Brooklyn is wearing women's clothes, so you know.
Okay.
I got big people on my hand, man. So y'all be safe out there and enjoy the weekend.
Stepping in, looking stellar.
Hey man, listen. Shout out to my mama. It's her fault I'm like this because I was fresh every Easter. You know, you could tell me to walk into church. Listen, I got a picture now of my crisp white suit, my black shirt, and my white tie. Like you couldn't tell me. I saw my face. Like you couldn't tell me nothing, dog. Like I probably sit down. I probably hung up. I probably stood up in the car on the way to church. I know that. I'm sure I did. So there wasn't no seatbelts back there neither in the back. So thank you for checking out the Super Duper Pie. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us on our socials. What up, Sarah? At Super Duper Pie, SUPA-DUPAPOD, and online at HP53productions.com. Is I miss anything?
No, I think you covered it all.
Fantastic. Make sure you make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a review. Give us 5 stars. That helps us out. You know what I'm saying? Because if you do anything less than 5, you just something wrong with you. Because this pod was great, as usual. So make sure you take care of yourselves and each other. This is the Super Duper Podcast.
Lately, I've been up late with demons in my basement trying to get me to hate this life, thinking I should be further, and then I choke up. As soon as I got silent, then the truth spoke up. They said, how you know you ain't perfect? Let that soak up and soak in. You know how you know that you blessed? I woke up